So I really don't know what I'm supposed to say or do. I just kind of want to laugh at the whole situation here. So Priya was just released, and wow, she is completely OP as an S tune, as an S class tune, sorry. As a 5-star, she's solid. 45 AP, 3 attacks of 175% damage to one enemy, confuse and impair for 2 turns to a line of enemies, and her leadership skill. All ranged teammates get plus 30% attack, and a very large bonus to AP when attacking. As a 5-star, she doesn't have a bound weapon, which is pretty typical for most toons nowadays, where they only get their bound weapon when they become a 6-star or S-class toon. And now when we see her as a 6-star, her rush does 3 attacks of 225% damage to one enemy, confuse and impair for 3 turns to a line of enemies, and her leadership skill plus 40% attack and a huge bonus to AP when attacking. Her rush reminds me of Julie's rush a lot, except Priya's rush is obviously so much better than Julie's. She has a turn 3 active skill that can remove all positive status effects from a line of enemies. That can be, defensive buffs, that can be attack up, it can be a multitude of different things, including, I guess, healing would also be a positive status effect. With over 2,200 attack points, she is definitely an offensive toon. Her leadership skill suggests that, her rush suggests that, and of course her base stats, which is what a lot of free-to-play toons, in my opinion, have been missing. Take a look at Jackson, for instance. He has a leadership skill for attacking, yet his rush and his stats suggest a defensive toon. So as mentioned before, Priya has a bound weapon that has plus 30 attack, a medium bonus to AP when attacking, and a new skill, so when attacking, 100% chance to daze for 4 turns when your HP is more than 75%. So daze is completely new, and it disables a character, so when it's under the effect of daze, it can't use active skills anymore, which is kind of ironic, because if you look at the last few toons that have been on promo, they all have turn 1 active skills, and now daze eliminates that. So daze doesn't affect the cooldown or limit of an active skill, so basically once daze is over, it means that character is still able to use their active skill if enough turns have surpassed so that their active skill is now available. Daze also only affects the activation of an active skill, meaning if the active skill has already been activated, daze will not just make that active skill disappear if it's currently in effect. It's still crazy to me that they would release Priya after all the things going on with Players United. They give us some of the low-hanging fruit in the upcoming update, but then they release this bomb. Add in arenas are coming soon, which will only add more strife to the player base, in my opinion. Now, when we look at S-Class Priya, she needs 2 maxed out 6-star Priyas, as well as 2,000 more ice cream cones, and those Priyas and ice cream cones get consumed. This Priya is insane. She has 10,000 base stats. Her leadership skill, plus 50% attack and a huge bonus to AP when attacking for all ranged teammates. Her rush, 76 AP still, 3 attacks of 275% damage, and confuse and impair for 3 turns to a line of enemies. She is a pure attack toon, just insane stats in my opinion. Her active skill retains the ability to remove all positive status effects from a line of enemies. It can be used on turn 3, a 3-turn cooldown, and it can be used 5 times. When we look at her weapon, plus 30 attack, a medium bonus to AP when attacking, and when attacking, 100% chance to daze for 4 turns when your HP is more than 60%. So when we look at Priya's attack at 4,464 times her lead skill, as well as the weapon, and include the mod and mod set, we get a total attack of over 10,000. But then in war, we have a war tower, so that's 1.2 times, 50% attack buff, which is pretty modest, when a toon like Harbinger can give 100%, and 80% attack up when taunted, also kind of modest because you can get a perfect 100% up when attacked. This gives a total of over 35,000 attack. Of course, it would then go into Scopely's formula for attack versus defense of a toon. And then after that formula, it'll be multiplied by 2 if there's a trade advantage, or if there's a critical hit times 1.5, plus if there's a crit damage mod. The point is, this Priya is absolutely insane. I've already heard that one player has an S Priya, which I have no idea how much they spent, but that is entirely your prerogative. So I also ended up looking up that Priya means beloved, and honestly, Priya has kind of been like the harbinger of death in some ways. You know, she kind of was the end game for 5 stars, and now she's the end game for 6 stars as well. What we also have to think about is that Scopely is unlikely to release a character that is not as good as Priya. Moving forward, they have to keep releasing characters that are better and better if they want players to spend. So in some ways, Priya is both a beginning and an end. Thank you for watching my video.